That's what we got going on in the garden so far. I need to do a little bit more planting today. Some more green beans in my raised bed over there. Maybe some more okra behind the pepper patch. And my homemade scarecrows. I had to do something because the deer were already eating things, but they haven't been back since I've used the scarecrows. The Japanese beetles have eaten up the apple tree. Working on a solution for that. That's how many I've caught so far. Lots of pretty volunteer flowers from last year come back. It's our other apple tree. I love the black-eyed Susans. Drew's pepper patches. And I started a hedge of blackberry bushes that I dug up and planted in early spring. And they all came back nicely. Sent off some shoots already. Got a little pumpkin seeds that I planted. Blackberries. There's some okra popping up. All these are male squash plants. All my females are over on the other side of the garden. And there's pretty pepper plants. Got peppers starting to come in. Sugar rush stripies. This is filled with that there in the corner is a pumpkin plant. And there's some cosmos, some squash. And these are all sunflowers. It's a new little spot that I started this year. And then I have some volunteer tomato plants popping up in there too. This little corner, I had this Cosmo was planted in this corner last year, and it seems we got some zinnias coming through and some sunflowers that I planted in there too. And we got Ziggy. A green bean bed that's getting eaten by something. Little jumping beetles. I've harvested so many strawberries this year already. And these plants are plants that I got last spring from my parents. And they were diseased with some kind of fungus, and I had them in containers, hanging containers, and I just set them away from the garden. And they came back in the fall, and so I decided to plant them in the ground, and they have been doing so good. And they don't have the disease anymore. And then look at this. All of these beautiful black-eyed Susans that volunteered from just a couple of plants that I had planted last year. So pretty. This is the only tomato plant that I didn't start from seed myself, because I really wanted some cherry tomatoes, and the ones I started, well, they died. And here is a little bed of green beans. This was the first batch of green beans that I planted. I need to pull them up, put down some new soil, and plant some more beans. And we got a little squash plant in here. There's a little squash growing. We've had so much rain this year, So much rain this summer so far. This is a volunteer tomato plant that came up in this bed. A little butterfly bush. Need to deadhead it. And then here's another bed with green beans in it. We've had 3 suppers worth of green beans that we've picked off of all of these. And there's some more green beans starting to grow. And then we have this beautiful borage in our tomato bed. We got a couple of pepper plants. And these are the tomato plants. Look at this. Look how beautiful that is. I'm just so in love with all of these black-eyed Susans. We got some bluebirds living in that birdhouse. This bed has some zinnias popping up from last year. All of my coneflowers have died due to all of the rain. But in here we have clover that I let keep growing. I don't want to take that out of the beds. I do keep it weeded, but I let the clover and the dandelions stay. But this is going to be okra, and there's some green beans interplanted. The okra's doing good. Got some marigolds here on the side. And then over here we got another patch with tomatoes. Lots of pollinators going to work. I've gotten 7 tomatoes so far. And I keep them in those mesh bags so that whatever's out here doesn't eat them before I can. I haven't had too bad of a problem with hornworms this year. I've gotten a few off. I keep this shaded under a shade cloth because it has been some intense heat after rain. This is cucumbers and some bean plants that are just starting to sprout. There's some romaine lettuce growing in here. But you see the shade cloth is kind of making those spindly, so I might need to take it down. There's the shade cloth. And there's another bed of green beans. And then over here, I have a bed I need to put the soil in and go ahead and take up everything out of here. Even though this lettuce it seems to be doing well. There's all the sunflowers. And Drew's pepper patch. And whatever that is wild, and it says that it's supposed to flower, so we'll see what that is. We got a couple of sunflowers growing here also. It rained a lot yesterday, so a lot of my roses have shattered. And Ziggy likes to be in there. I need to get one more arch for this climbing rose. It's going to be so pretty when it gets mature. I need an idea of what I could use to fill in around here. There's buttercups that come up in the springtime. But what should I put in there that would be a perennial?